Hello and welcome to Bible Study with Alice, and today we're on day 84, Psalm 84 of our daily psalm reading. We're reading from the ESV translation, but you're more than welcome to join us from a different translation. I don't normally do this before my videos because I like to do the usual thing and jump into the video and then talk at the end. But something came to my attention yesterday on day 83, Psalm 83 video. So this person commented and they wanted me to pray on their behalf, which I'm more than happy to oblige to. But obviously before I had a chance to respond to that viewer's request, I wasn't obviously able to because they had deleted their comment. Now I understand and appreciate that you might not want your story broadcasted to billions of people over YouTube, and I do understand that completely, and I respect that completely, that you might not want to, but you are actually more than welcome to reach out to me via email, and it's religiousnerd12@gmail.com, and you can find that email address in the channel description, and you are more than welcome to reach out to me via email, and I'm then happy to oblige because, as I said, I understand that you might not feel comfortable having everything broadcasted for everybody to see, and sometimes people can comment and say hurtful things, especially when you're upset anyway, to then have somebody be more upsetting. So yeah, I'm hoping that viewer, gets to see this, and they're more than welcome to reach out to me via email. And yeah, my contact details are in the channel's description box, so please do reach out to me. I'm more than happy to accommodate prayer requests. And yeah, so if you want me to pray for something, just reach out to me. I'm more than happy to oblige to it. So let's get into today's video. So we are on 84, Psalm 84. These videos are filmed in real time. Today's date is the 26th of January 25, and it's a Sunday. You can find the previous 83 Psalms in the playlist below. There is a disclaimer as usual, and that is one, these videos are unedited, and also I'll probably stumble on my wording, which always seems to happen, but we'll get through it. So let's get started. My soul longs for the court of the Lord. To the choir master, according to the Gittith, a psalm of the sons of Korah. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord of hosts! My soul longs, yes, faints, for the courts of the Lord. My heart and flesh sings for joy to the living God. Even the sparrows find a home, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she may lay her young at your altar, O Lord of hosts, my King and my God. Blessed are those who dwell in your house, ever singing your praise, Salam. Blessed are those whose strength is in you, in whose heart are the highways to Zion. As they go through the valley of Baca, they make it a place of spring. The early rain also covers it with pool. They go from strength to strength. Each one appears before God in Zion. O Lord God of hosts, hear my prayer. Give ear, O God of Jacob, Salam. Behold our shield, O God. Look on the faith of your anointed. For a day in your court is better than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than dwell in the tent of wickedness. For the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord bestowed favour and honour. No good thing does he withhold from those who walk uprightly. O Lord of hosts, blessed is the one who trusts in you. And then I go and tip on my camera over. Oh well, it's fine. So that is Psalm 84 complete. As I said, my camera goes flying. Tomorrow we will be on 85. And that's the first half of the video complete. So the second half, we talk about the psalm itself and the time period that the psalm was written in. So let's move the Bible back slightly. That's done. Doesn't necessarily mean we get to see it all, but we do now if I lift it up. So yeah. So this next bit I'm going to explain before we get into the psalm. And those who have watched my channel before will know I do this. And I do it mainly so new viewers get an understanding of what's to come and get an idea of how it's explained. So with the Psalms, it's written over a vast period of time. And historians and scholars don't fully understand the Psalms, surprisingly enough. There are some that has a time period linked to it, and even with the time period, it can be a vast period of time. It could be in the 8th century. That's like a big time period, for example. So it's not going to be a case of this psalm was written on this particular date, day and date and time. They don't obviously know that, but they can go by centuries or a particular year. Some psalms can be more distinguished on years, where others aren't. It can go in century. And that's really helpful because for those like myself, I know there are people like myself who like to know when something was written, when a time period was, just to kind of understand the Bible a bit better. And obviously there are going to be those psalms where the time period is unknown. Now with the unknown, there is two parts to it. So the first part is the psalm could be unknown, but there's an event linked to it. And they can, I'm trying to think of the way to explain it. So they have a, what's the word? They have an event linked to it to be able to help to understand that psalm better. And which is, you know, the events can be quite good, but there is a thing with that. They could say the event could be a war in Israel. Now, there's a lot of wars have happened in Israel. So it doesn't actually tell you which war it was. It was just the event being how, when this particular thing happened, it happened during a war, but they don't know who, what, where, why. They just know the context of it was a war, but they don't know which war it was. They don't really know too much of that, but just that they got an idea that it was written during that type of period. Then you've got the other half of it, the other part, where it's unknown, but even though it's unknown, there's no event linked to it at all. It's just, it could be a psalm that doesn't even explain anything about an event. So they don't know when that particular psalm was written at all. They just know it was unknown. So with Psalm 84, Psalm 84 is unknown. They don't really know the event that links to it, to be honest. These are one of those psalms. A psalm of worship that expresses the longing of pilgrims to be in the presence of God. It also describes the joy of being in God's house and the blessings that come from fellowship with God. Now, I know you could say, well, it's the longing of pilgrims. But maybe so, but that doesn't actually explain anything. We could all be pilgrims, in all fairness. So it could be interpreted in many ways. So there's not one way to explain it on when it was written. It's just that we are all pilgrims. So that's what I mean. It could be written at any point. There's not really a thing to describe it as an event. There's not actually an event linked to it. And when it says it also describes the joy of being in God's house and the blessings that come from fellowship with God. Now, we could all have fellowship with God, in all fairness, because we can all get blessings from worshipping God. You know, like when we do a prayer, case in point what I said at the start about that viewer who wanted me to pray for them, that person would get blessings, comfort in God, even though they obviously want prayer because something has happened in their life. Not good, that is. From the general idea of the comment, it wasn't a good context of it. But though that the blessing would be comfort. And really struggling today, to be honest. I think it's because it's a Sunday. You can get plenty of blessings in your life, and you can get blessings from anything you do once you fully believe and trust in God himself, that he will give you those blessings. You know, fellowshipping with God, that's basically just helping somebody to feel God's love and God's hand at work. And you can fellowship people by, you know, inviting them to church. Case in point, it being a Sunday, we'd all have at some point been or going to go to church. So, you know, we fellowship then. We can go and be neighbour-like and help our neighbour out in time of need. We can just do anything to help people. Be in a fellowship. Fellowshipping that person to become closer to Christ. Case in point, praying for somebody when they're in their time of need. There's so many things that we can do that we can get blessings from. We can get blessed. Even if we're helping somebody in their time of need, we feel blessed because we're helping that person to find comfort in their life. Even if it is a bit of a challenging time for that person, you know, is going through so much with the problems that they've got going on in their life, and they just want to feel comfort by God, and they feel comfort by us helping them. Sometimes though, some people don't like the help, don't like to ask for help because they don't want to feel like they're a burden on others, even though they're probably not going to be a burden on others, but they would just feel such burden. But when we help that person to feel less of a burden, because nobody's a burden really, I don't think they are, I don't think anybody's a burden, whatever challenges you're going through. Yeah, it's hard enough, I'm not going to lie. We've all got challenges going on in our private lives. You know, there's so many going on in my life, and I sometimes feel a bit overwhelmed by it. But when somebody offers to help me, I feel blessed that they want to help me. And even if it's the simplest of things, like case in point, somebody praying for me, that I feel blessed by, because I feel happy knowing that somebody is actually wanting to help me and wanting to look out for me. So, the next bit I want to talk about is the word salam. And my camera goes. So, you can find it at the end of verse 4 and the end of verse 8. So, let's go over here. So, salam is a rest, a pause or reflection. So, with that in mind, we'll quickly run over it before I go back to 84. So, the Psalms are actually meant to be sung. Now, obviously, you might do, I don't know, but I don't. So I don't sing the Psalms as we know. I would just read them out to you. But back when these Psalms were written, they would have put Salah and there's obviously 3 points to it: a rest or a pause. So you rest or pause at that point of the psalm, and that's obviously because when they were read, sung, they've been sung. The psalmist would have sung these psalms, and when it came to the word salam, the one obviously said salam. Obviously, I say it because it's part of the text, and I feel it's relevant to say it because then I can go back to it afterwards, like I'm doing now. And I mean, some people don't. Some people reading the Bible, they won't mention that word, but I do. And obviously, when these psalms were sung, they would have taken a pause or a rest break to regain their composure, rest their voice, whichever you want to see it as, before continuing on. Now, I like to see it as a reflection. Now, obviously, I'm seeing it as a reflection because I'm not singing it, and as I'm not singing it, I'm not needing to take a rest or a pause. So, with 84, so in verse 4, we have, "Blessed are those who dwell in your house and ever sing in your praise, Salam." So Salam, for me, is a reflection of that particular verse. So you're reflecting on, blessed are those who dwell in your house, ever sing in your praise. That's a reflection of that particular verse. I don't believe it to be a reflection of the previous verses before verse 4. I just believe it's a reflection of verse 4. And same with verse 8. Where it goes, "O Lord God of hosts, hear my prayer. Give ear, O God of Jacob, Selah." So that's a reflection of that. You're reflecting on, "O Lord God of hosts, hear my prayer. Give ear, O God of Jacob." So it's a reflection of those points of Psalm 84. And as I said, people can see that as a pause or a rest, which is fine. That's fine. Everybody will see the interpretation of Salah different. So I just want to make you aware of that. There are a lot of people, YouTubers, podcasts, pastors, vicars, bishops, whatever, spiritual leader, whoever, quite literally anybody, will have their own interpretation of what the meaning of Salah is and why it's put in at that particular point. Now, I'm not saying, and I'm not, oh gosh, my words are getting I'm getting tongue-tied. No, I'm not saying that verse 4 and verse 8 are important verses in Psalm 84. but they're pretty relevant verses for why the psalmist would have put that in. That's what I'm trying to get to. Is even I'm not saying they're the most powerful verses in the psalm, but they are pretty relevant to the psalm because the psalmist wouldn't have put it at the end of those particular verses. So that is Psalm 84 complete, and tomorrow we will be doing Psalm 85. Before I leave, not that I'm going to be leaving anywhere, but before the video ends, I'm now writing the day and the date. So we are on day 84, and on the 26th of January 25. And I do that to help me and help others to feel accountable. Now, I know there are a lot of people who watches these videos with me, they will join me on this video on the day it's been released. Now, obviously, I'm going to be now saying it as in time, but if you come across this psalm at a later point, just because I'm writing in the day and the date, and it's obviously a date in the past at that time when you're watching it, it doesn't mean it's not relevant. It just means that I'm doing it in real time, and those who are following in real time are, getting or feeling accountable for their study with the Bible, which is kind of what I'm doing as well. I want to feel accountable for doing it in real time and with you guys as well, and I want to feel like I'm doing something do I study. But if you are watching this and it's, I don't know, in June, for example, and you're thinking, well, it's not the 26th of January, it's like the, 26th of June, for example, just picking up a date now, that doesn't mean that when you're watching it on the 26th of June that it's not relevant. Just want you to make you sure you're aware that when you're watching this video, is relevant at that time. The information is not going to change just because of the date. The information is very much relevant to the psalm, and the examples I use are relevant. Now, obviously, the only bit that would be not relevant to the 26th of June would be obviously the bit I mentioned at the start about the viewer who had asked for me to pray for them. That particular bit wouldn't be, because obviously it happened on the 25th of January 25. But even in the 26th of June, if you want me to do a prayer for you, you're more than welcome to reach out to me even then, because I won't be going anywhere anytime soon, and I surely won't be going in June. I'll still be around. I got no intentions of just doing the Book of Psalms and not doing any more videos, any more content. I've got plenty of content in my head that I want to do. So I'm going to be here for quite some time, and you're more than welcome to reach out to me on religiousnerd12@gmail.com. You can find that in the channel description, and yeah, you can reach out to me via email. I would say it takes me about a day to reply back, but generally speaking I am quite quick at my replies, but I would say up to a day. I wouldn't be ignoring anybody, it's just due to other commitments that I have in my life. I work full time, so because I work full time, I don't always get to see my emails straight away, but I do see them, and when I see them I will respond accordingly and will act on them accordingly. So yeah, so thank you for watching. Please like my content. Please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it if you could. And please turn on the notification bell so you get notified of when content like this gets uploaded to YouTube. Thank you and goodbye.